Okay, hopefully you can all hear me a little bit better now. Sorry about that. Like I said, given the current situation in the US right now and around the world, we are having to adjust our work schedules as well. So I am doing this from home, so it looks a little different in my background, and we're still working through some of our normal issues and making sure that this is a good experience for you. So hopefully you can now hear me. And with that, we'll do that quick review again of what we're discussing today. This is a webinar entirely on automatic and manual targeting. So we're going to be going from taking your automatic campaigns for sponsored products and moving it into a manual campaign for sponsored products as well as a lot of these tips are going to be really beneficial to your sponsored brand campaigns. So with that, I am going to go ahead and actually turn off my camera. As you can see, I've got some weird sun streaks on my face. It's a little distracting. So I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm going to go ahead and put up a poll in just a moment. All right, so this first poll that I'm going to put up, we are trying to gauge how many of you have already launched a manual sponsored products campaign. So you should be able to see that poll really quick. I just want to gauge how many of you are actually at this stage in your advertising already, so that I can also hopefully cater to those of you who are at different stages. Right, so as those answers come in, just a reminder, if you cannot see the screen, I do have it showing. I have a poll up right now. There's probably an issue on your end, so I would recommend logging out and then logging back in if you are not able to see that screen right now. All right, so that poll has been up for about a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and close it, and I'll share those results with you. So I can actually see that 75% of you have already started a manual campaign. I love to see that. That means that you've taken your advertising to that next level. So hopefully today, even if you have already started a manual campaign, I've had conversations with advertisers in the past who didn't even realize that there were other options for manual campaigns beyond keywords. So hopefully you'll learn a little bit about product targeting today, or you'll be able to take away some new tips and tricks for really improving your campaigns. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that back down. And then I want to put up one additional question. So this is asking, what type of manual sponsored products campaigns do you have running? So we have manual keyword targeted campaigns, manual products, both, or none of the above. So go ahead and fill that answer in really quick, and then I will go ahead and dive into the webinar. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that down now, and then show those results as well. So as you can see, 32% of you have manual by keywords, only 10% of you only have manual by products, a whole bunch of you have both, some of you have none of the above. So this is a slightly different distribution than the previous question, which means that some of you may have realized you actually do have manual campaigns already launched, which is actually great as well. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pull those poll results down. And then we'll go ahead and dive right in. Okay. So what will we be discussing today? We're We're going to have a really brief overview of sponsored products. I know that most of you already know what they are, so we don't need to spend a ton of time on this. And then we'll dive right into targeting for sponsored products. So those different targeting types that we just discussed. I will spend the majority of this webinar in a live demo talking through setting up your campaigns for manual and product targeting. And then we're going to go into a couple of optimization strategies and a Q&A session. All right, so with that, let's dive right in. So a very brief overview here of sponsored ads. So like I said, most of you have already launched. I'm not too worried about spending a ton of time on this, but just a reminder, our sponsored ads suite is primarily made up of two products, sponsored products and sponsored brands. Sponsored products you'll find within the shopping results when you are searching on Amazon or on product detail pages, whereas sponsored brands are going to be at the top of search results or at the bottom of search results. Sponsored brands doesn't enable, in order to use this, you do have to be brand registered. So if you are not brand registered and you're wanting to use this ad type, maybe look into taking the steps to go ahead and get that brand registry set up. All right, so again, here you can see right where sponsored products for show up within search results and on product detail pages. So today, as we're talking about those targeting methods, we're going to really be discussing where those ads are going to be showing up and how you can target these two locations. And then sponsored brands show up at the top of search and the bottom of search. All right, so let's talk about the benefits of using both automatic and manual targeting. So by leveraging both targeting types, this can help you reach more customers and drive more sales on Amazon. So if you're using automatic targeting, that campaign is always going to be doing work for you to find the most relevant keywords and match them up with customer search terms at all times, as long as you have that campaign active. Whereas manual targeting, you are then going to take those keywords that are performing really well in your automatic campaigns or the products that perform well in those automatic campaigns and put them into separate manual targeted campaigns so that you can actually target shoppers a little bit differently on Amazon. This allows you to be more strategic. It allows you to bid higher on certain keywords or lower on others, or even target different match types, categories, and brands. So with automatic targeting, we have targeting defaults that you're able to choose. We rolled these defaults out beginning of 2019 timeframe. And these defaults allow you to match your ads to customers' shopping terms without doing any work, but there's close match and loose match, and then substitutes and complements. And we'll be talking about what each of those mean in just a moment. And then we've got manual targeting. So that's that keyword targeting and the product targeting. So with keywords, you're targeting actual keywords that you believe are relevant to your products. And then products means that you're targeting categories, the category that you sit in, the brands that you believe are your competitors, and actual products and ASINs that you also believe are similar to yours. All right, so with automatic targeting, this is kind of our default targeting method. This is going to be ideally the very first type of campaign you've set up, which means that most of you are already running one. So these new automatic targeting features for automatic targeting are going to give you more control over your campaigns. So we've got close match, which means that Amazon may show your ad to shoppers who use search terms that are closely related to products. So let's say that you're selling a cuddly 18-inch pink teddy bear, and you've got this automatic targeting group of close match on. So what are some different products that you could be targeting within that? Or keywords that you would be targeting. So if someone were to search for pink teddy bear or cuddly teddy bear, your ad would have the opportunity to show on a close match basis. With loose match, if you're selling that same product, when someone searches for a soft teddy bear or a big fluffy teddy bear, those keywords are slightly different from your actual product's descriptions. So that means that these are a loose match keyword, and that's how it's going to show up within your advertising if someone were to click on your ad. Now with substitutes and complements, these ads show to shoppers who use the detailed pages primarily of products like yours. So you're going to be targeting actual products versus the keywords that are and search terms that are being used. So if you've got your cuddly 18-inch pink teddy bear, a substitute product for that might be a purple teddy bear or a 16-inch teddy bear. So these are products that are really similar still. These might be different products that you would consider within your shopping journey if you were shopping on Amazon. And then if you have that same cuddly 18-inch pink teddy bear, but you have the complementary targeting group set up, then your ad may show to shoppers who view the detailed pages of products that complement your product. So this is when I like to start thinking about, all right, so you buy that cuddly 18-inch, or you're selling this cuddly 18-inch pink teddy bear. There might be other things that you buy in addition to this product. So in this case, you might buy a different type of stuffed animal. So a stuffed animal puppy or a plush unicorn toy. You might buy clothes for your teddy bear instead, so that you might want to be targeting teddy bear clothes. This is a really good example. I always like to think about Christmas with this example. Let's say that you're selling a Christmas tree and you know that a complementary product, so something you'd buy in addition to that Christmas tree, is Christmas tree lights. So you could go ahead and target those categories, such as Christmas tree lights, Christmas tree stands, even ornaments. So I'll show you where these targeting groups are within Seller Central in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and talk about the actual manual targeting types. So you can target by keyword or products within your manual campaigns. So manual targeting, we have keyword match types. This slide is incredibly beneficial. I actually come back to it on myself when I want to have a good reminder of just how the different keyword match types work. So let's say that you're selling this gray wireless speaker over here. So you're bidding on the keyword wireless speaker because that's a keyword that's incredibly relevant to the product you're selling. So let's say that you put that keyword in as broad, phrase, and exact match type. So we're going to talk through now what search terms would match with those individual match types. So you've got your broad match keyword of wireless speaker. This means that you're targeting keywords in no particular order. So your ad could show when someone searches for wireless Bluetooth speaker. That word Bluetooth breaks up that phrase. That's not a problem because this is broad match. You just need the two words wireless and speaker to show up somewhere within that search term. For phrase match, you're targeting keywords in their exact order. So this includes additional keywords before or after that phrase, as well as plurals and common misspellings. So as you can see in this first example, Bluetooth wireless speaker means that you are targeting, means that your ad can show. So if someone searches for Bluetooth wireless speaker, your ad is eligible to show based off of this phrase match type. Whereas wireless red speaker, that word red breaks up the phrase. So your ad would not be eligible to show for that search term. And then there's exact match. So this means that your search term must match the keyword exactly. So we're bidding on the keyword wireless speaker. Someone would actually have to search for wireless speaker. There could be slight pluralizations or misspellings to this as well, and your ad would still be eligible to show. However, waterproof wireless speaker, so that word waterproof really throws off this search term. Your ad would not be eligible to show because you're not targeting the word waterproof. So this would not work in this situation. And then we have negative phrase and exact match. So we get questions all the time when we talk about negative match. What does that mean and what does it do for you? So negative match means that if you were to target the keyword wireless speaker or negatively target it with negative match types, that means if someone were to search for that search term, your ad would not be eligible to show. An example I'd love to use here is if you are targeting, let's say that you're selling eyeglasses, so the glasses that you wear on your face. One of the keywords you might be targeting within this is just the word glasses. However, there's a lot of other words that can go with the word glasses. You've got wine glasses, you've got water glasses. So you would want to put in wine glasses as a negative keyword. That way your ad does not show up when shoppers search for the word glasses, wine glasses, but it will show up still if they're just searching for glasses and your ad is relevant to that search. And then we've got product targeting. So within product targeting, you can now target by category, brand, or product in your manual campaigns. So you've got the category that you sit in. So once again, we're coming back to that stuffed animal I was talking about earlier. That's your category is stuffed animals and teddy bears. So you can target every product within that category. You can also target brands specifically. So Amazon plushies might be a brand you want to target. I should point out that's not a real brand, but this is just an example. So that might be something you want to consider. And then we have Pecky, the Amazon plushie. So in this case, this would be an individual ASIN that you might know that you get a lot of clicks from that product page, and you could actually individually target that product as well. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and start into that demo that I talked about. All right. So as you all can see, I'm now in Seller Central. For those of you who are vendors, Seller Central interface does look a little bit different, but in general, the majority of these features are the same. So once I get here to Seller Central, I go straight into Campaign Manager. And then because I'm walking today, taking you through campaign creation, I'm going to go ahead and create a campaign. This is my test account, so I do want to make it clear there's not actually any information in here, and it does load a little bit slow. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Sponsored Products. So up front, I'm not going to worry too much about our bidding strategy or our settings because today we're really just focusing on targeting. I am going to initially just start out by talking about automatic targeting. So that was that first group that I went through earlier. I am going to go ahead and add in my ASINs to my campaign. When you get to this point, and especially when you're using product targeting, but in general, we recommend this no matter what, add in products that sit within a similar category or will have similar keywords or product attributes. That way you're able to have keywords that would apply to the majority of the ASINs within your campaign. In my account, I've got a whole bunch of building block sets. So today I'm going to be talking about just building blocks and how to really target these. All right, so I've got all those building blocks in. My campaign is set to automatic targeting. So within automatic targeting, we have the default, setting your default bid, which is a single bid for your entire campaign. Now with this, this means that no matter what, when your ad's eligible to show, your ad will go up to auction at this default bid based off of your bidding strategy. Whereas when you set bids by targeting group, you can target individual targeting groups. So this is where you see that close match, loose match, substitutes, and complements. So here I can see that I've got a different suggested bid for each individual targeting type. So this suggested bid is based off of a series of other bids that have won the auction in previous days. So this does adjust on a daily basis, and it's actually based off of real bids. And then we have our suggested bid range, which once again is based off of actual bids that went to auction in previous days. This is for your entire category versus just the individual products you have. I would recommend, if you're just setting up your first campaign here, go ahead and use that suggested bid. You can go ahead and just click on it and it auto applies it over here. So one of the cool things with these different targeting groups is that if you don't want to target all 4 of them, you can go ahead and toggle them off as well. So if you don't want to target substitutes and complements, then you can just target nothing but close match and loose match instead. I've gotten the question before, can I just, with substitutes and complements, just target product detail pages? You could do this because these are product targeting types. However, there is still going to be the opportunity for your ad to show in search. So while these do say, and you'll see it if you toggle over this, will show your ad to shoppers who use search terms loosely related to your products. So this could still show up on search, not just within product detail pages. So do keep that in mind as well. When you're first setting up this automatic campaign, if you've never used these targeting groups before, I'd go ahead and leave them all on. So one of the benefits of automatic targeting, and I did touch on this a little bit right at the start, is that you can really take your automatic campaign, you can let it run continuously. So don't set an end date for it. And then you're always able to collect information out of this automatic campaign. That means that you are continually seeing when you download your search term report, the different search terms that shoppers are using on Amazon that your ads are actually showing up for and are receiving clicks. This search term report is really beneficial when you're then going in to create that manual campaign that we're going to talk about next. So before I go into talking about that manual campaign, I'm actually going to walk you through as well how to download that search term report and also how to use it, because this is a question we get all the time. All right, so now you can see my report section. So this interface has recently changed. So if you haven't downloaded a report recently, this is going to look a little different, which is part of why I also want to discuss it today. So when you first get to your advertising reports now, you're going to click this Create Report section right here at the top left. From here, you can go ahead and choose the campaign type that you want to look at reports for, your report type, your time unit. So I'm going to be downloading my sponsored products search term report today. I'm going to do a summary. So it's going to be a summary of the entire report period that I'm downloading this for. So that's going to default to last month. We are in March right now, so that means that it's going to download for the entire previous month of February. If I want, I can always change this to be month to date or any time frame that I want. Do keep in mind that we can only go back up to 60 days. So if I were to try and download reports from before January 18th, I can't do that with my search term report. That is the farthest it will go back. Once I've chosen my report period, then I can go ahead and rename this report if I want. And then I can go ahead and download it now, in the future, or recurring. So this is one of the really nice new benefits of this new report interface, is you can download the report right now if you want, which is great if you're going to go in and optimize or create a manual campaign today. However, you can also set up a future delivery. So you can have this report download on a specific day in the future, or you can set it up on a recurring basis. So it will download continuously. I love this option. In the past, have always recommended put a calendar hold on your calendar so that you come in and download this report at least once a month. We don't have to do that anymore. You can actually just download this report automatically on a monthly basis or more often if you want. And you can set an end date. So you could have this download every single month for the next year or longer. All right, so once I do that, I can go ahead and click Schedule My Report, or I can just download it right now if I want, Run Report. Once I've actually ran that report, then it's going to show up right here within all of the reports. If you've downloaded more in the past, you're going to have a lot more in this area, and then you can go ahead and download the report from here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my search term report that I use within webinars so that you can see how I actually use this report and why it matters for your manual campaigns. All right, so I do have right here at the top, my very top row. the very first thing I do when I get into this report is I select that entire top row, and then I go ahead and add a filter. This filter allows me to sort all of my information in a way that is more digestible to me so that I can really learn from it. The very next thing that I do, and this is my personal preference, I definitely encourage you to consider it and see if it works for you, is I come over here to column J, where my clicks are, and I sort from largest to smallest. This allows me to see the number of clicks different various keywords or search terms are receiving, which then allows me to, as I move farther to the right, see their advertising cost of sale. So I can really, and their cost per click, how much I'm spending, how much 7-day total sales I'm receiving from this search term. I like to sort by this number of clicks because I also think it's a really good way to see where am I really spending that money. So I can see here my very first customer search term that's showing up is Amazing Greens protein powder. This has received 340 clicks. It has a really high click-through rate, which is great. I love to see that. It's got kind of a high cost per click, but if I look through all of the keywords here, they all seem to have a high cost per click. It spent $700 in this time period. So this is for the previous entire month. But this 7-day total sales is $2,600. So the 7-day total sales is within the 7 days after a shopper clicked on my ad. So that could be, let's say that I clicked on it today, and the next 7 days, if I end up purchasing the product that I clicked on, then that will be attributed to the 7-day total sales figure. And then our total advertising cost of sale. So what we really want to see here is that your advertising cost of sale is somewhere between 20 to 30% ideally. That's about the industry average. That's pretty standard. If it's lower than that, fantastic, you're doing great. If it's higher than that, then you want to make some adjustments to your campaigns or to your keywords to bring it down. So as you can see, if I go down a couple of keywords here, I've got this search term that has a 95% ACoS. That's pretty high. So I could come over and look at what that search term actually was. You can see it's meal replacement shakes. This might be a search term that I don't want to put into a manual campaign, whereas this Amazing Greens protein powder is probably a search term I do want to put into a manual campaign if I don't already have it there. This search term report is really going to give you the tools to see how are shoppers searching for your products when they actually click on your ads. And then are you receiving sales from those clicks? And if so, you probably want to put those search terms in as a keyword in your manual campaigns. One additional thing I want to point out before I go ahead and walk through those manual campaigns is that here you're going to also see some customer search terms that are a string of letters and numbers. It's always going to start with a B, and then it's going to be followed by a random string of numbers and letters. That is an ASIN. So this ASIN can actually be targeted in your product targeting campaigns that we're going to talk about in just a minute as well. This is really great information for you to know because we get this question a lot. Why do I see this random string of letters and numbers? Some advertisers have asked me before, does this mean it's, a fake click? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. This click actually originated from that ASIN's product detail page. So that means your ad showed up on that product detail page of this ASIN and a shopper clicked on it. Here you can see that they actually clicked on it it's been clicked on 209 times. And my ACoS for it's actually 33%. So this would definitely be a product I would want to continue to target. I might want to make my bid a little bit lower than what this cost per click is. That way I'm not spending quite so much money on those clicks. But this search term of this ASIN is actually performing pretty well for me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back over to my advertising campaign manager, and I'm going to walk through keyword targeting and product targeting. All right, so should be loading in my campaign creation page here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and click on sponsored products. All right, so once I'm here with my sponsored products or within campaign creation, I can go ahead and click manual targeting. This is going to change the type of targeting that I'm doing now. Once again, I am going to add all of those building block products into my campaign. Scroll down farther. Again, I'm not talking too much about my bidding strategy today. We do have a different webinar that's specifically for that, but I'm going to be talking about keyword targeting and product targeting. So we're going to first start out with keyword targeting. So once again, we went through that search term report. You can always take search terms from that search term report that are performing well and add them in as keywords at this point. You can go ahead and click on this enter keywords section and you can start entering anything that you think is related to your product that's performing well from that search term report or that you really just want to target for your products. Or you can go ahead and use suggested keywords as well. So these suggested keywords are going to be based off of the products you have in your campaigns. And they're going to show up for all the different match types. Mine right now is only showing for broad, but in your interface, it should show these keywords and you can add them for each individual match type as well. When you add in keywords to your manual campaigns, we do recommend that you add them in as each in different match type. So right now, if I were to add stacking toys as a broad match, I would also want to add it in as a phrase match and a keyword match, and as an exact match. So like I said, your interface is going to look a little different than mine does. But I can go ahead and just add these individually, stacking toys as phrase, and then stacking toys as exact. When you're adding in manual keywords, we do recommend that you add in at least 25 from the start. So I've only got 3 right now, so I would really want to go through here and see what other keywords I think are relevant to my products and I want to target from my campaigns. I can also just click add all and it will add every single keyword that's showing here. I do recommend that if you do that, you still go through the keywords and you can always remove them once they have been added. That way you are making sure you're really targeting keywords that you believe are relevant to your products. All right, so once you've started adding in keywords, just like with automatic targeting, we're going to give you that suggested bid right here. So you've got an 84-cent suggested bid for stacking toys and broad match, and then a 92-cent bid for phrase and 77 for exact. So you can go ahead and apply each of those. And then once you've added in your 25 keywords, of course, you would want to add in, like I said, more than I have here and each of them in each match type. You can also start adding in your negative keywords. So you can add negative keywords in both automatic and manual keyword targeting. In product targeting, you can negatively target ASINs instead. But with negative keyword targeting, you can only add in keywords here. So like you saw, I've got all my building blocks within my campaign. So what are some negative keywords that I actually want to add here? For example, I might want to put in really high ACoS keywords. So if I were to go into my search term report and see that there's specific keywords that are really high cost, I might want to add those in here. Other things that I might want to add is anything else that's using that keyword block. So I might want to put in, not building blocks, but maybe butcher block. So the place where you cut food on your kitchen counter. It's got that word block in there. If I'm targeting just the word block in my campaign, which I can go ahead and add that in if I wanted, I would not want my campaign to show up if someone was searching for butcher blocks. It seems how butcher block and building blocks are very different products. I could also add in knife block, block heeled shoes, anything else that's got that word block in it that I might not want to target. Then once I've added those in, I can click add keywords and it'll show up down here as the match type and the keyword I've added. All right, so I'm also going to mention briefly, if you want, you can also upload a file of keywords. So if you've got another campaign that's performing well and you want to pull some keywords out of that, you can go ahead and use this upload file option. You just download the template here, you add in the keywords, you add in your bids, and then you can re-upload it and it will go ahead and put all of those keywords into the campaign for you. We're also going to talk about product targeting now. So one thing I do want to mention, as I've now switched between different targeting types, each individual campaign you set up can only have one targeting type within it. So either keyword targeting or product targeting or automatic targeting. So you can't have both within the same campaign. So with that first keyword campaign that I created, I would want to launch that campaign before I go and create a product targeting campaign instead. So I've got my product targeting here that I'm going to go ahead and talk through now. So with product targeting, it's going to suggest to me different categories that I might want to target. It's also going to suggest to me different individual products. Within this individual products area is where I might want to add in those ASINs that I'm seeing in my search term report that are doing really well for me. But within categories, I can go ahead and target the entire category I sit in. So I've got my toy stacking block sets. I could target that entire category by clicking target here, or I can go ahead and refine the category as well. One thing to note with specific categories such as children's toys is that you can actually target by age range. I believe there's only one other category that you can do this in, which is books, but you can actually target with my blocks. I might only want to be targeting those who are shopping for 2 to 4-year-olds and birth to 24 months, since I know that my products are related to those age ranges. I can also target individual brands. So I might know that there's several brands in here that are really my competitors, so I want to go ahead and target them. Or I can leave that untouched and I can go ahead and adjust my price range as well. So if I sell really high-end building blocks, then I might only want to target other building blocks that sit within that same price range. So maybe all of my building block sets are more than $40, so I might want to target everything above that price point. Or on the other hand, if I have a lower cost product, I might only want to target up to the price range of $35. So there's different ways that you can really think about using that price range area, as well as review star ratings. So you can target other individual products that actually have specific ratings. So if you have really low ratings, you might want to only target products that have 0 to 3 as well. On the other hand, you might want to target only products that have good ratings. One thing to note is that every single adjustment you make within this page is going to show you the approximate number of products you're targeting right down here. So if I go ahead and expand that review star ratings back out, I'm targeting 600 to 1,000 products. I can also target by Prime eligibility. So if you want to target other products that are Prime eligible, you can choose that. Or if your products aren't Prime eligible, maybe you also only want to target other products that aren't as well. So once you've set up those refinements, you can go ahead and target whatever you've set up here within this category refinement. And then once again, you're going to actually see a suggested bid for each of these. And I can go ahead and apply that. So once you've set up the categories you want to target, go ahead and add in the individual products you'd like to target as well. As I wait for that to load, I'll also talk about the negative product targeting. So with brands down here, you can actually exclude specific brands. So let's say that I'm selling my building blocks, as you saw, but I don't really think that Lego is very relevant to my building block specifically. So I could actually exclude the entire Lego brand if I wanted to. I can also exclude individual products. So now that this is loaded up here, I can go ahead and see the actual individual products that are being recommended to me, and I can target these individually. I can also search for products. So if I have that ASIN that I've taken out of my search term report, I can put it in here and it will pull it up. I can also just search for any term and it should be able to pull up other options as well. I can enter an entire list of ASINs if I want, just separated by a comma or a new line. Or just like with keyword targeting, I can upload an entire Excel document of everything I want to target. With negative product targeting, if you have an ASIN in that search term report that's got a really high ACoS, so you're spending a ton of money on it and you're not seeing a return on your spend, you can go ahead and enter that ASIN here. I think this tool is awesome. We often get the question, why am I spending so much money in my automatic campaigns? Can I negatively target this ASIN? And in automatic and keyword targeting, you can't, but in product targeting, you can. So this is a really great tool to use if you've never tried it out before. I definitely recommend setting up a campaign with product targeting as part of it, and negative product targeting. So once again, once I have all of those choices set up for my campaign, I can go ahead and get my campaign launched. Keep in mind, you can always go in and make adjustments. So once you do have this campaign set up or your keyword campaign set up, continue to download that search term report. It's still going to show you how shoppers are actually finding your products when they click on your ad. All right, so now that I've done that walkthrough of campaign creation for all of our different targeting options, let's talk about our top tips for our optimization strategies. So number one, take an always-on approach. This is one of our top recommendations. If your campaign is always on, so it doesn't have an end date, that means you're always collecting information about how shoppers are searching for your products. That also means that you're always hopefully getting impressions, clicks, and sales, which is really your goal. We also recommend that when you create those manual campaigns, add at least 30 keywords. I think I said 25 before, so anywhere within that range, 25 to 30 keywords is really going to be the optimum area for you to at least start collecting information about how shoppers are searching on Amazon. If you can add more keywords than that, then we also recommend that. Make sure you're also leveraging Amazon Search Intelligence. So like you saw, we're going to suggest to you a list of keywords. Those keywords are going to be based off of the actual products you are selling and advertising. This is a great tool for you to use when you are looking for additional keywords to add in. If you don't know where to start, go ahead and start out with broad match keywords. This is going to bring in the widest array of traffic for you to be able to see how shoppers are searching for your products. Use that suggested bid that I talked about. That suggested bid is a really great tool for you to start seeing how much to bid for your ads, and then always consider adding in negative keywords or negative products. This is going to be a really great tool for when you start seeing your ad spend go up. This can really help bring it back down. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and answer some Q&A. I know we've had a ton of questions coming in throughout today's webinar, so I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so answering Q&A for you. I do have a couple comments in here that my Seller Central campaign creation looks different than yours. Like I said, mine was a test account. It does look a little bit different. Pay attention to what yours looks like. A lot of the buttons are still going to be the same. A lot of the phrasing is still going to be the same. Is there a limit of how many keywords you can add to a manual campaign? There is a 1,000 keyword limit per ad group. So if you are in your campaign or even in campaign creation, you can see here, I'll scroll all the way to the top. So you've got your campaign creation at the very top here. So this is the very top section where you choose your campaign name, your start and end date, and your budget, and then your targeting type. Once you've chosen that, then you create an ad group. So you can have multiple ad groups within each individual campaign. And each individual ad group can only have up to 1,000 keywords within it. Different reasons that you might want to use ad groups is that with your manual campaigns, you might be targeting, with keywords, you might have your broad, phrase, and exact match campaign set up into different ad groups. You might also have your ad group set up by different types of products that you're selling or different products that you're targeting. So you might have a category target ad group and then an ASIN target ad group. That's just going to be a different way for you to be able to go into your ads and make adjustments depending on how you've segmented that out. Have a couple questions here about that suggested bid. So first of all, where does it come from? And then second, what happens if you don't apply that suggested bid amount? So the first part, like I said this earlier, but I still get this question a lot. I know it can be confusing. That suggested bid is based off a series of other bids that actually won auctions in previous days. So it's actually going to be updated daily. It is based off of other products similar to yours that have won auctions. So we are recommending it to you for a reason. That suggested bid range is the bid range for the category you sit in versus just the individual products. What happens, however, if you don't use it? So that suggested bid amount is just that, it's suggested. So you might know that you really want to bid like very competitively. So you can always go ahead and up your bid if you want. Or you might not be so willing to spend as much money, so maybe you bid a little bit less. That means you're probably going to get fewer impressions, but you might also have a lower ACoS. The other thing is within your search term report, you're going to see in here that there is the cost per click column. This cost per click column is going to show you the average cost that you spend on each click. So you can actually use this cost per click as your bid as well for those individual keywords when you start entering them. Why did I add the same keyword on different match types? I actually don't know if I covered this, so thank you for asking this question. So we recommend when you are setting up your campaigns with keyword targeting that you do go ahead and target each keyword via each individual match type. You're going to get a different type of traffic from each one. So broad match is going to bring in the broadest amount of traffic because it's able to match the largest number of search terms. Whereas phrase is going to bring in a slightly more limited amount of traffic. So it's only going to bring in those who are searching for stacking toys, hypothetically, but there could be a word at the front end or the back end of that phrase. And then exact is going to bring in the most refined type of traffic. So someone will truly have to search for that exact term for your ad to show. We do recommend that you add each keyword as each match type, especially when you're getting started. That way you can see how different individual match types work for you. You can always toggle them off or lower or increase your bid on them once you've actually launched your campaigns and see how they're performing. One other thing that I didn't talk about with match types is that it's a really good idea if you are a brand owner or you're selling a specific brand, go ahead and use your brand in your match types. So for example, you've got your brand name, go ahead and say your brand name and then the product that you're selling or the keyword that you want to bid on. This is a really good way for you to also continually get traffic from shoppers who are searching for your brand because you really want to make sure that you keep them within your, keep them coming back to your products. How do you set up negative targeting for a ASIN on an automatic campaign? So you cannot, at this point in time, negatively target an ASIN within an automatic campaign. It's not a feature that we offer. So if you want to try and block out traffic within your automatic campaigns, go ahead and try adding in negative keywords that are related to that ASIN where you're spending a lot of money. So go ahead, look at that ASIN, see if maybe you've got specific keywords that they're using or that are really related to that product, and see if you can try and prevent traffic from that ASIN by adding those in as negative keywords. Okay, I don't understand when you use keyword targeting versus product targeting. Should we do both? Does this apply only if you're in a specific niche? This is a great question. I know that I went over both of the different targeting types pretty quickly. So when you are using keyword targeting, that means you're targeting specific search terms that shoppers are using. This is a really good way to continue to take that information from your automatic campaigns or from your product specifically and target those keywords and search terms. That way you're spending money specifically on those things, but also receiving hopefully sales from those keywords. Whereas when you're targeting with product targeting, you're targeting an entire category or specific brands or specific ASINs. So you're just able to target your ads to different types of shoppers, to different in two different ways. So which one should you use, or can you use both? Definitely, if you haven't tried one or the other, give the other one a try. The manual targeting by products, so the product targeting that I went over very last, that is one of our newest targeting features. You can use it with sponsored products and sponsored brands, and it's a really great tool if you've never tried it out before to go ahead and see how it performs for you. I've had conversations with advertisers who tried this out for the first time and saw totally different results from their keyword campaign. So you never know. If your keywords aren't working for you right now, maybe give this a shot instead. Now, should you be using them both at the same time? Definitely give it a shot. Maybe take half of your keyword targeting budget, put it into your product targeting budget, and see how each one performs for you. They're just different ways to target your campaigns. You're going to get different types of shoppers potentially with each one, so it's a really good thing to give it a try. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and answer one additional question, then I will have to log off for today. Go ahead and come back on really quick. I do again want to thank you all so much for attending today's webinar. Before I answer this last question, just a quick reminder to fill out that survey that's going to pop up in just a minute. It's just going to be a couple of quick questions on how you think we did today. Again, thank you for bearing with me with that delay at the very start of the webinar. Like I said, things are changing. I'm now running webinars from home, just like a lot of you are probably now working from home. So thank you for your patience today as well.